And Arkansas voters joined a cresting wave in 2016 by legalizing medical marijuana.
That wave since then is building behind recreational marijuana, with almost half the states now allowing adults to ingest it legally.
That's a wave voters here have so far resisted. THV 11's Rolly Hoyt looks at how the medical industry has grown in 4 years and why cannabis could be coming to a crossroads.
If you need a visual metaphor for the growth of medical marijuana in Arkansas, this is the building that sold the first prescription back in 2019. It's a tobacco smoke shop today. This is the building where the same owners now sell and grow medical marijuana.
It's great. We really didn't know what to anticipate when we first started, but it's beat all of our expectations.
Since the heady days of May 2019, Dragan Visenik has been among the most visible and consistent voices in the state's medical marijuana industry. His Green Springs Medical Dispensary is a few miles away from what was then called Doctor's Orders. The two Hot Springs shops ushered in the first customers, patients, after years of delays following the passage of Amendment 98, which legalized medical marijuana in the natural state. Subsequent growing pains inflated prices, and then came the pandemic. But 4 years in, Visenik is certain about demand.
So originally the state anticipated a 1% participation rate, so with 3 million people in the state, 30,000 people is what they anticipated would get medical marijuana cards, and we're 3 times that. So it's been really good for Arkansas and really good for taxes.
So there are just under 94,000 people in the state with medical marijuana cards.
Scott Harden is the familiar face delivering the exact figures for the State Finance Administration. After 4 years of updates, he reports Arkansas has collected just over $100 million in taxes. This ceremony last week is an example of where all that revenue is headed. The law directed that a portion help UAMS elevate its cancer care. Now they've teamed up with Baptist Health for a state-of-the-art imaging center. But there will be a shift in who gets the tax money moving forward. Earlier this year, lawmakers redirected it toward food banks and training medical residents. It comes as the market continues to expand.
It's just a matter of time until we cross 100,000, so obviously we underestimated that.
Let's throw some other numbers at you to help put the industry's growth into perspective. The state's 38 dispensaries employ 1,740 people. The 8 state-sanctioned cultivators employ 1,100 people. That's nearly 3,000 jobs created from scratch. Harden describes this maturing industry as hitting a groove. Considering how tightly regulated it is compared to our neighbors, the state is expecting the growth to eventually level off, but at a high level.
Right now, it looks like we're going to continue to see anywhere from 22 to 25 million spent every month, and that doesn't look like it's changing anytime soon, even with Missouri, because that has been the big question.
Yes, a big question that emerged last November when Arkansas voted down recreational marijuana, but Missouri joined the nationwide expansion. Issue 4 here faced headwinds from the same groups opposed to legalizing marijuana in any form, and then sank when longtime marijuana supporters opposed the structure of the proposed law. Everyone we spoke with expects the issue to show up on the ballot again at some point. While we wait, public health experts are trying to fill in a data vacuum on just how medicinal marijuana truly is.
We're in the middle of our 3-year grant from the National Institutes of Health to study the effects of introducing medical marijuana into the state of Arkansas.
Dr. Joe Thompson with the Arkansas Center for Health Improvement says it's still too early to draw medical conclusions, but he does have data that could influence future proposals. Namely, more Arkansas doctors are becoming more familiar with marijuana.
What we have found so far is that about 10% of licensed physicians in the state have qualified an individual. I think given the dialogue and even the resistance to the introduction of medical marijuana, 10% is a pretty large number.
ACHI is being deliberate with its research, even though demand for conclusions is high across the country. Limited information quickly turns into political talking points, with elections popping up every cycle. For instance, headlines warned of a surge in youth marijuana use after Colorado legalized it in 2014. But within the last 3 years, opposite findings made headlines as other states went to the polls. Regardless of the political winds, Dr. Thompson is among many urging caution and vigilance when it comes to marijuana and people under 25.
I think it's important for parents, for leaders, for coaches to be watching for signs of illicit drug use and marijuana use in particular. This is something we don't want to lose control of. We want to use it if it has a benefit. We want to guard against potential harms.
Controlling what comes next, that's a recurring theme. controlling the health unknowns, controlling the financial unknowns, and to people like Visenik, controlling the narrative.
I think where the mistake was last time is they didn't educate the people enough about the benefits of medical marijuana. And if they had, and people knew how beneficial it is to you, there would have been a lot more votes for it and a lot more approval.
In Hot Springs, Rolly Hoyt, THV 11 News.
And Rolly mentioned Colorado and the way the rest of the country looks to them for signs of how marijuana markets will unfold.
Our Tegna colleagues there, as well as the Denver Post report, just today, sales are in a slump. March sales fell by $17 million compared to last year.
And the president of a marijuana trade group described Colorado as the ghost of Christmas future.